Om Sai Ram. Now I shall narrate the life of Keshavrao Ramchandra Pradhan, who lived at Bhivpuri Road. Bhivpuri is a station on the Central Line in Raigad. This station became famous as the people that worked at the Tata's electrical powerhouse got down at this station. Pradhan was not a very affluent man. However, he owned his own home and he had some farmlands. To make both ends meet, he worked as a bill collecting agent at one of the private pathpedis, that is, the bill collecting agency. He was an atheist and had a great deal of disregard and contempt towards sadhus, saints and fakirs, and he would not go and bow down to them. His friend, however, was an ardent devotee of Sai Baba. Oftentimes, whenever his friend came to Shirdi, he would ask Pradhan to accompany him. However, each and every time Pradhan refused to accompany him. Once, he and his family were going to have Darshan at Shirdi, and his friend repeatedly requested Pradhan to accompany them. He also told them that the bill collecting sites were close to Shirdi and he could do the bill collections from Manmad, Kopargaon, Yevla and other places, and also have the benefit of having Baba's darshan. Finally, Pradhan agreed to go with him, but he made his terms and conditions very clear to his friend. He told him that he would not bow at Baba's feet no matter what, because he considered Baba to be a Muslim. He also told him that he would not drink Baba's Paddatirth, as the very thought revolted him. When his friend agreed to this and told him that nobody would curse him to go and bow at Baba's feet, he accompanied him to Shirdi. He thought in his mind that he would stay in his room and let his friend go and have darshan. However, when his friend was going for Baba's darshan, he asked Pradhan to accompany him. So Pradhan reluctantly went to the Dwarka Mai. At that time, the Dwarka Mai was overcrowded. Happily, Pradhan went and sat in the far corner of the Sabha Mandap. His friend went up into the sanctum sanctorium, and soon the crowd dispersed and his friend was having Baba's darshan. Just then, Baba started shouting and said, "Bring that irresponsible, contemptuous rascal to me." This he said, pointing to Pradhan. So his friend came down and asked Pradhan to accompany him into the sanctum sanctorum. Then Baba gave him chapter and verse about his irresponsible behavior and how he was so contemptuous and would slander the saints. As Baba was raving and ranting about his behavior, Pradhan got a glimpse of his omnipresence. He realized that Baba knew the deepest secret of his heart, and he knew every passing thought. And from that moment, he became devoted to Baba. Pradhan had made a huge bill collection of 2,500 rupees and he had stuffed both his pockets with the money. While Baba was getting angry with Pradhan, he asked him to empty his pockets. First, Pradhan emptied his right pocket, and then Baba asked him to empty the other pocket also. He did that while he was still in a trance. Then Baba asked him to leave Shirdi immediately. His friend was rather concerned, and he came to Pradhan and said, "You better leave, as Baba wants you to go back home." So now Pradhan was in a quandary. He had no money for his return ticket, nor did he know how he was going to repay back the amount that he had given in Dakshina to Baba. Then Baba's Leela started unfolding. An unknown devotee came to him, and not only did he buy his ticket back to Bhivpuri, but he also made all arrangements for a very comfortable journey. And thus, Pradhan reached home safe and sound. Now, the second problem that faced Pradhan was, how was he going to give back 2,500 rupees to the bill collecting agency? So he told his boss that he was rather sick and would be unable to attend his duties. The boss replied to him, "Oh, Pradhan, don't worry about it. I am so pleased at the huge bill collection that you made and deposited it at the head office. This was such a huge bill collection that you managed to do. So I am very pleased with you. So take all the time that you need to come back to work." Now Pradhan realized the Leela that Baba had performed, and he became a staunch devotee of Baba thereafter. Pradhan was a very unique man. He was rather stubborn in his ways, and once he had decided to do something, he was determined to see that it came to fruition. After this Leela, Pradhan went to Shirdi as frequently as he possibly could. Every time he went and had Baba's darshan, he would lovingly ask Baba to come with him to Bhivpuri Road. Baba did not quite respond to his request, so he repeated his visits to Shirdi more frequently. Then one day, after Baba had been pestered by Pradhan, Baba said, "I'll come." Now, Pradhan took the words very seriously, and on the next visit, he asked Baba, "Baba, you said you were coming to Bhivpuri Road, so when are you coming?" This he said with utter love and devotion. That day, Baba took a bas-relief of himself and gave it to Pradhan and said, "Here, take this. Truly believe that I am in this bas-relief. Take it home, construct a temple, and worship me there, because that is your Shirdi. Do not come to Shirdi again. Perform all the religious festivals that are performed at Shirdi and be content, for I am there." Now Pradhan thought that this was a big joke. So a few weeks later, he was back in Shirdi. As soon as he entered the Dwarkamai, Baba asked him to return immediately. So Pradhan went back, and he did construct a temple, and the bas-relief was kept there, and he worshipped it with all his heart and soul. Pradhan would get up early in the morning, and he would go to the river and fetch buckets of water so that he could give the idol that was now kept in the temple a Mangal Snan. Then one day he stood before the idol and said, "Baba, does it please you that I have to go all the way to the river to fetch water so I can give you your Mangal Snan? Don't you think I should have water nearby?" After he said this to Baba, he set about digging a well, and Baba saw to it that there was enough water for him to perform his Mangal Snan. The other thing that he did was he would worship Baba with the flowers that he was able to get. One day he thought, "Oh, I have just a few flowers. How nice it would be if I had a fragrant garden where I could make garlands and offer lots of flowers to Baba." Having said this, he went and got himself jai, jui, roses and other fragrant plants, and he set about digging the place and planting the saplings. He took utmost care of them, and in about 4 or 5 years, he had this luscious garden. Then, with devotion, he would pluck the flowers and offer them to Baba. Once the temple was constructed, it became very famous in the areas around, that is, in Mumbai and Pune, and many devotees started flocking to that temple. Why would Baba have told Pradhan that that is his Shirdi and that he would be coming to Bhivpuri? It was known that the area in front of Pradhan's house was haunted. Every evening at dusk, Pradhan would go and light the lamppost in front of his home. Thus, there was sufficient light there. However, when he went to Shirdi, there was nobody that would place the light there, and the area was pitch dark. It so happened that any wayfarer or anybody passing that route when there was not a light was hounded by the evil spirits, and they would not be able to take the path home. They would just go round and around right in front of his home and be unable to reach their own residence. Thus, it was very important for Pradhan not to make these frequent visits to Shirdi. Also, if Baba took residence there, then the evil spirits that were already there would get Sadgati, and no other evil spirit would dare to come and be in the presence of Baba. So this could possibly be the reason why Baba agreed to come and stay at Bhivpuri Road. After the temple was constructed, one day at midnight, he and his family heard the temple door opening. They went out to see what it was and who it was, and lo and behold, they found Baba entering the temple. He closed the door behind him and was in the temple. So they waited to see what would happen next. At 3 o'clock early that morning, Baba opened the door and left. They were so delighted with this that Baba indeed was there at Bhivpuri. So they told the villagers about it, and many a fortunate villager could behold Baba entering and leaving the temple. Once, Pradhan was in deep financial crisis, and no matter what he did, he couldn't find a solution for it. Then he went to Baba's idol and cried before it. Baba reassured him and passed his hand on his back and laid his hand of benediction on his head. And soon he was able to come out of the financial crisis. There is a Tulsi Vrindavan in the area where Baba gave Sakshatkar to Pradhan when he was going through the financial difficulties and problems. Pradhan did not want anybody to walk on that sanctified area, so he built a Tulsi Vrindavan over it. Pradhan passed away in 1939, but prior to his passing away, he had formed a trust and he left the care of the temple with his son and his son-in-law A.V. Gupta. Once Pradhan had a dream in which Baba said, "How can Bhivpuri be my Shirdi if there is no Dhunimai?" So, a devotee started doing Parayan of the Satcharita, and while he was midway through the Parayan, Baba came to him and asked him to construct a Dhunimai, and this Dhunimai was constructed and it was lit by Dev Baba, who was Dabholkar's grandson. The entire financial burden of constructing a Dhunimai was taken by Kumar Sen Samant, and thus there is a Dhunimai in Bhivpuri. This is a must-see temple, as this temple was built when Baba was living and was at Shirdi. After Pradhan's death, there was a plan for expansion of the temple, and the temple was expanded. There was no rooms for the devotees to stay there if they wanted to do a Parayan of the Charitra. Now there are rooms constructed so that a devotee can go there and do the Parayan of the Charita and can do a Khand Naam Jap for a Saptaha or a week or more. This is a beautiful temple, and its compound has luscious trees that are holy. There are neem trees there. There's an ancient banyan tree there. There is a peepal tree and an audumbar tree. All these trees are very holy, and it is a delight to go to this temple. So, every devotee that can, should visit this temple. The life of Pradhan is so unique, and from his life, one can learn that it is okay to be adamant and pester Baba for things that is for the welfare of society, or if you want to build a temple glorifying Baba and all the leelas and the good deeds that he's done in your life, it is okay to pester him. After all, won't a child pester his father or his mother? And Pradhan was such a devotee. He thought of Baba as his own father, Who would not say no to a stubborn child? And stubborn he was. Om Sai Ram.